The film that you're about to see will explain more graphically than any words that I have at my command just how desperate the situation is for millions of people in the subcontinent of India. I hope to show you what needs to be done and what can be done and what should be done, but it's going to take the active cooperation of many, many people to achieve what I think is the most worthy of human activities. My name is Eamon Malloch, and having travelled in 5 other third world countries around the world, for reasons which I don't clearly understand, I came to India in the year 2000, and what I saw has had a deep and very profound effect on me. And when I walk through leper colonies such as the one we're in now, I feel a sense of revulsion that human beings are forced to live in a type of abject destitution that's here in front of our eyes. How are you? You've never lived until you've hugged a leper. It's a wonderful experience and everybody should have the pleasure. This is the Vivekananda leper colony. There are 37 families living here. There are 15 children under 15 years of age. And you notice that the leper colony is in waste ground. It's divorced from the rest of the community. And the people living here are living in abject destitution. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Namaste, namaste. How are you? You okay?
Okay.
Let me see your hand. Gone. The fingers are all gone. What about your toes?
The extreme cases of leprosy, no?
Yeah.
All the feet and arms are...
This is a characteristic. This is the main feature of leprosy. Fingers and toes are first affected. And I explained to you before, leprosy is a disease of the destitute. Middle-class Indians do not contact leprosy. And it's because of a poor diet and the parts of the anatomy which come into contact with filth and dirt. It's always the fingers and always the toes that suffer. And if medical remedy is not introduced, then it spreads through the hands, the feet will go and very quickly die thereafter. Take the bandages off. Don't take the bandages off. So there is no left foot, there is a stump, and there isn't much, and look how thin the legs are. This man is obviously suffering from severe malnutrition, probably tuberculosis as well, and his diet will not allow the body to build up the type of resistance it requires for him to regain his good health. Foot.
See the wounds.
See the wound on the ankle? Look, he's 2 toes.
Yeah. And
he's lost the rest.
Lost the fingers and everything. So he's crippled, you know. Even he can't balance properly, no?
No, he can't walk properly.
You can see this child, this sibling. He lives in leper colony. He's from the leper colony, and the one white patch you can see on his cheek, it can be the first sign of leprosy. If you don't have the feeling over here, then that means it is leprosy, and if it's not treated, then it can grow up to be with a grave region.
What does that meal, what does that meal consist of? There's obviously rice and
there is
dal.
Rice and a vegetable.
Yeah.
And dal.
And dal. Now that's man and wife, and the lady cooks the meal, doesn't have any fingers. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we get the nurse on here as soon as possible and get her to examine. Yeah. Can you explain to your nurse we'll come in and examine her eye? Okay. What they're doing, they're talking to us about the most serious health problems in the leper colony at this moment in time relates to loss of vision. A lot of people are suffering from cataract problems or cornea problems. So what we've decided to do next week is to send in a medical team in here to examine every person on the site and try and get on top of the medical problems they're complaining of. It should be explained that leprosy can be stopped dead in its tracks by an injection and a course of tablets. But of course, they've got to go seeking medical help. This is one of the reasons why we've introduced the primary health care program, is that we'll detect problems with children at that age and have medical intervention available to them as soon as possible. This building, this block that you see here, Action with Effect has provided the money to construct this block, which is 2 toilets and 1 shower. And you can see very simple water top that we in the West, all of us take for granted. It's part and parcel of every household. But here, it's considered something of a luxury. But what they have here is clean drinking water, and I won't hesitate to avail of it myself. I have tasted better water in my life, but this is clean, and it will help to prevent the spread of disease. But every family is entitled to a water top in their house and a toilet. That should be standard fittings in every house, but it doesn't happen. These people, before this block was built, if they wanted to go to the toilet, they had to hide somewhere along the ditch and do whatever they had to do there. Men, women, and children. You can see for yourself the conditions in which the people that we've accepted responsibility for. It would be amazing, indeed it would be miraculous, if people living in these circumstances didn't have serious health problems. And just about everybody in these camps is suffering from, and sometimes quite an acute form of malnutrition. They all need and deserve to have medical care. So we introduced, this is the latest addition to our program, primary health care. We're losing, in these sites, we're losing a lot of very young children, particularly under 2, but up until 5. Infant mortality rate is extremely high. The children that survive, and you can see the conditions yourself of them, they're suffering from malnutrition, undernourishment. If you watch the children's eyes in particular, you will see that the diet they're on is not good enough to sustain health in the body. We still need financial help from the general public to help us to continue with this most basic of humanitarian aid. This is, of course, a dried up riverbed which occasionally floods, and we have had a number of catastrophes here with people building their accommodation too close to the water, and I've got cries for emergency accommodation, and I've had to send a whole lot of money to rebuild, and I supplied them money on the basis that they would choose higher and safer ground. And something I did warn them against, and they've ignored it, is building these accommodations cheap by Gerald, because we've had a village burned down. Every tent in the place burned down because there was no space between one tent and the next. You know, there was no fire breaks. Now I had to house 48 families very quickly. And look, they've built, you see how close they are together? This is, you know, we've had to we've had to build 48 houses on one site. And the reason being that the tents were built too close together, and when the place went on fire, everything burnt down. There's bound to be a fire here at some point in time. And people are going to lose everything as they've done before.
What can they buy then with $1 a day? What would that actually buy them here?
They can buy only the basic food, no? Rice and you can say chapati flour. They buy the flour, and they have no vegetable. They are eating it with the salt, chapati with the salt and some onions like that. That's why they don't have the proper diet, you know. The malnutrition is prevalent among children. I think almost 90% children are malnourished in the site. So that's why we had planned the primary healthcare program, no?
How hot does it actually get? What's the hottest it gets in the really hot?
It can be 50 degrees easily.
50 degrees.
47 to 50 degrees during the peak June and July.
You can't imagine working in that.
Very.
When I came here last year, of all the sites I saw and all the hardships that we came across, I think this is the one that struck me most. The idea that there was 14 hours of intensive, hard labour, and these people are like sentenced to a lifetime of hard labour.
Action with Effect has supplied the funding for the establishment of 12 primary schools in our campsites in India. We have over 2,000 students, and in the circumstances pertaining to India, none of these children would ever see the inside of a classroom. And I can't overemphasize the importance for these children of education. because the only hope, and it is the only hope, of escape from a life of unrelenting destitution is education. We're providing that. They get fed a nutritional meal every day, and we clothe them whenever we have the funding. They have comprehensive medical, dental and optical care. It will not leave our care unless they go to third level education, and if they can't manage that, we're going to make ourselves responsible for vocational training, that when they leave our influence, they will have a trade or a job or a business to sustain them through the rest of their lives. Well, this is called the Boys School. There was a structure here previously, but the land belongs to the Forestry Commission and the building had to be taken down, and we reverted to a hedgerow school. This is exactly what this is. But you can see the children are all fairly happy, eager to learn, and they will get a meal of sorts every day they're here.
We'll go there, we'll see.
The main occupation of the men is to collect waste. The children will be involved in that also. And what to do then is that they recycle it, they sell it on to a middleman who will give them precious little for the money. This is the grotesque and evil face of destitution. It is obscene that human beings in the 21st century, in a nation which can afford to send rockets to the moon, should be living in such squalor as this. It is grotesque and it is obscene, and it is an affront to the whole of humanity. The building you see under construction is a hospice for dying, destitute lepers. It would be called the Bamba Hospice. Bamba means, is the name, the oldest name known for the island of Ireland. Now this hospice has been an idea of mine from my very first visit to India. And in this hospice I want the patients to have palliative, clinical, hygienic care and be allowed to die with dignity. And Peter's in charge. And what I'm saying to Peter is this, that when he staffs this hospice, the people working in it must give 100% attention to the destitute dying. And he assures me that's going to happen. 600,000 new cases of leprosy are diagnosed in India every year. Our people are suffering. You've seen it for yourself. The camera will not lie. They're suffering day and daily. We're talking about pain, humiliation, neglect, and it's a dreadful penalty that we've imposed upon these people. In Hardwar, where we are now, there are 7 leper colonies, people living in conditions like this. And my mission is to try and provide a house for every leper family in Hardwar. But then we have schools in Hardmore, we have schools in Rishikesh, we have schools in Dehradun which eat into the funds. If I could get the money, I will do the work. I will have the people here who I work with do the work. All I require is generous, compassionate humanitarians in Ireland. Our achievements have, of course, only been made possible because of the generosity of local people, and we need that generosity to continue. While we can't feed everybody, we can, with the help of private donors, feed very many. This tiny organisation feeds 2,000 children every single day of the year, which is in itself a minor miracle. We supply food on a regular basis to 5 leper colonies. We clothe lepers whenever the money is made available to us, and we supply them with something which is quite important, which is winter blankets. We are asked continually for help, and on most occasions we can meet the demands made upon us, but not always. There are times when there is no money left in the kitty, and I'm appealing to the good people of Derry, the whole of Ireland, and indeed beyond. Every penny that we received from whatever source goes directly to the destitute in the Third World. There are no expenses taken from funding. Members of Action with Effect do not receive any salary. They give up their service freely and voluntarily. I hope you found this film to be interesting and informative. If you would like to become part of Action with Effect's crusade against the dreadful poverty that your eyes have seen, then do please come forward. Or if you want to send a financial donation to Action with Effect, the details will be on the screen at the end of this film.
Shiva